That's him. That's him. That's the man from Range Rover dealership. That's him. He and Steve Raymond Chevrolet swapping. And then they say, oh, he don't work here no more. That was somebody else. So then you go in the office with somebody else. So you done been to the office 2 times. But you went one time with the man to be Range Rover. And that's why the manager came in here and said his name was Michael. No, he wasn't Michael. You were Michael in here getting the car, the Range Rover that the man Michael Childers had at 2488 Judson Avenue. So they swapped. That's why they financed them vehicles over and over and over again. I ain't got time for it. That's why the FBI don't want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to me. Because they know that girl is not lying. Because I can prove what they said. Because the inside of that car is the same color that of a man that worked at FedEx. The same week that I got it. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to me. I ain't got no reason to lie. If you lying on the FBI and you think they finna let you keep making lies, you better be dead for sure. I'm not a liar. They know that girl is not a liar. There's the FBI and the IRS. And all of the FBI, I don't think all of the FBI is wrong. I think the good FBI is why I'm alive. Because they're the ones that said keep talking so we can see what all the bad FBI done did. So I don't think that all of the FBI is wrong. But do the director of the FBI know that I'm not a liar? Absolutely, because he talked to me before on TMZ. Yes, he did. Because they was coming up. I'm telling you something. I really don't want to say what they was doing because I really don't want to talk about that. But if he asked me, I would tell him. But they was doing some bullshit. And he got right on TMZ and told me in a disposition they staged. And he said verbatim, I'm not following that. I ain't following that. Because he wanted me to know, don't build that on yourself. Because I'm not building that. So then I looked at him and said, so then what are you? You shouldn't be building nothing. Because you know I ain't guilty of nothing. But they was building some bullshit. And he seen it. And he said, that's not me and I'm not doing that. So the director of the FBI, if that's really him, because before they told me it was a white man. So I really do not believe them. Because I call the FBI my daddy. So it makes perfectly good sense to me of why they would put a Patel up there and say that's the director. And then turn around and say you selling drugs with Indians. Then that means, is that really the FBI? Because before it was a white man. And I really don't want to get into that. But whatever is whatever. But I really don't want to get into that. But they told me that the director of the FBI was a white man when I went and Googled it in 2020 to write him. And that his name was Chris Hacker. And then they turned me into Chris. And you're the hacker. So then when I started calling the FBI my daddy, that's when this Indian man came up there and they said, that's the FBI. I don't know. We'll let the jury be out. But the FBI that I'm referring to is white. I'm not going to call that Indian man my daddy because the FBI is done put the Indians involved. And I'm not going to call him my daddy. If he's the FBI, then so be it. But I'm going to refer to the white men that I seen. I'm not going to refer to him as that because I don't have any proof. And they have lied and said that FBI is different people and it's not. Because they told me that the FBI, and I have letters in my storage that they put online and said that that man's name was Chris. And it's not. So that means that, so you do tell lies. Because you accepted a certified mailing letter to your bureau at 3000 Flowers Road, knowing good well that man's name is not Chris. So then you tell lies. So then when people trying to really complain about stuff that's going on with them, y'all tell lies to derail the operation. So then you can't be trusted. And that means that you don't want to know about what's going on with your agents because you don't care. Because you already know what they do. And they're in their power to do that because you don't care about black people. They know not to do it to somebody white. They did it to that lady in California, and they got up there and they said, and Sharon Cuchison, whatever her last name was, has been blah blah blah, and this man did this to her, and they got right up there, the FBI and the governor and everybody else got right up there and said, we have issued a statement and we are taking this seriously, and we demand the captain and anyone else to get out of her computer. They said that exact words, get out of her computer. So they know people living there. And me, I done been sitting here saying it I don't know how long. And every time I say it, the only thing I get from them is you're dead. That's it. That's it. So when it come down to this, I don't really believe all that. I really don't care though. Because if he is, he is. If he ain't, he ain't. But I know if he is, that man told me on TMZ, he staged a conference and acted like he was talking to somebody about something, and that man said, I'm not staging that. I'm not building that. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. He was talking about what they was doing. Because he's seen it. They have been sending me messages about it all day to try to get me build myself on that, and I wouldn't do it. So he sent me a message and said, I'm not building that. I'm not doing that. And I said, okay, fine. Because he seen I was worried about it. He said, I'm not doing that. I said, okay. But then I looked back and said, but you shouldn't be doing nothing. Because you know I'm not committing a crime. So I'm not understanding. So at the end of the day, I think that I need to go take my bath. And I think that I'm black. And that these white people know that she done been through too much. We done did too much to her. I'm not damaged goods. But they don't want to pay because they do this to black people all day. So they don't really fathom we should do something because they don't care about black people. So they don't have that concept. That is not registering to them. So I just feel like I don't know what I want to do, but I'm tired of the FBI. And I'm tired of the IRS. They won't even give me my check, and the IRS won't, and the FBI won't even make them do it. So at the end of the day, I've accused the FBI of drugging me, putting me to sleep, letting people rape me in my sleep, using my identity, changing my information, sticking me with harmful things to make me sick, financially oppressing me, taking my children, sowing discord in my life, harassing me to no end, work, home, terrorizing me for the last 8 years of my life since I made that complaint. I ain't had one good financial year yet since 2018 when I made the first federal complaint. And they came out there the very same day in that burgundy truck. They tell lies. Not gonna fall for it. And then let them keep sitting up there now that everybody looking, that was not us. Stop lying. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I made the complaint. I'm not a liar. They came right out there. And I came home after making that. They followed me home. And it was a white man in the burgundy Suburban. And they driving it right now. They tell lies. And then we came up to Portland, Tennessee. They came up there. A gray Toyota 4Runner. And then in an old limited Crown Vic burgundy. And then there was an older white man, tall and slim, with glasses, I think, a little clear glasses, little frames. And he was right next door to catch up mom in them house. They can't sit up there and tell me that it wasn't. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. They tell lies. Yes, it was. Yes, it was them. And they don't make the IRS do nothing that they supposed to do. That's why they out of control. And I'm sitting here looking at my financial refund. They sat there and told me, go file your taxes. We gonna give you your money, lies. I'm sitting here right now. Sitting here putting my refunds in to see where my money at. And it got to go to bankruptcy. And you think, look, won't even approve it. $974. What was the purpose of me going down there filing? And they don't even acknowledge it. They didn't acknowledge it in 2020. They ain't acknowledge it in 2021. And they ain't acknowledge it now. Why? Because they said, bitch, you dead. We done killed you already in the fucking system. Ain't no fucking taxes to acknowledge. That's why, bitch.